into the conversation. Hi, Pastor Nii.
Hello,
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you here on the show.
It's an honor for me.
But you have done do you consider it a remix or a refix or?
Well, Mokobe never dies, so.
Okay. So you have a newer version of Mokobe.
A newer version, yeah.
What led to the creation of that?
Well, I did a recording, my first live recording outside the country in Canada.
Okay.
So there was I didn't have any excuse to exclude Mokobe from the repertoire.
Right.
And I definitely had to repackage it.
I like that. Okay, so you know what? Before we even go straight into the conversation, let's start off with the repackaged Mokobe right here on the show that will come into the conversation. You're tuned into Brunch in the City. If you have a message, if you have a question, if you have a comment for Pastor Nii Okai, he's here with me. So sending you messages right now to 0549986996. I'll also read those that are on the Facebook Live as well, or you can tweet at me at EJ Support. This is the repackaged Mokobe.
This is Brunch in the City, your smooth companion at work.
So the repackaged Mokobe now playing on Brunch in the City, and this song is timeless. So I don't understand a lick of Ghana. I can't speak Ghana to save my life, but somehow I can sing along to the lyrics, not knowing what I'm singing to.
Wow.
So a little birdie told me that this song was written a while ago. How far back?
I wrote it in 1999.
What?
And we finished working on it and released it in 2003.
Wow.
Yeah.
What led to that delay between the writing of it and then the releasing of it?
I had no intention to be a gospel artist.
Wait, backtrack. Let's start this off. Wait, why didn't you have any idea? Why didn't you think you were going to be a gospel artist?
It was all about singing in the ministry. You know, I ended up becoming a music director, rearranging songs, working on songs. So for me, that was a focus. Once God gives me an inspiration and I work on a song, I teach the choir. We use it for our concerts, outreaches, and all that. So Mokobe was one of those songs.
So it wasn't meant to be or you didn't expect that you'd be the face, the person putting out the songs.
No,
it was just supposed to be the background work.
That's it.
So describe the process of moving from being a musical director, being basically in the background of the music industry, the gospel music industry, to now becoming the front line and then the person that we know as Pastor Nii Okai.
Well, so it was a journey of yielding, because wherever I found myself, they wanted me to sing, but I enjoyed, to put things together, to get the choirs worked up for whatever administration we have. So Mokobe was one of those songs, and I remember vividly somewhere 2002, I was on my way to Kumasi in a bus and God gave me 10 praise songs. And I had that inner conviction that it was time to record an album.
Wow.
Not really to become a gospel artist, but just to put something together.
A body of work, yeah.
So I called Koda, the famous Koda we all know, and he mentioned that to Joe Beecham. And Joe Beecham had, this makeshift studio he had started. So we just got there and we started working. So it was Koda who insisted that we add Minjioyi. That was how we used to call it.
What does that mean?
I worship you. Or
okay.
I'm praising you. So he said, no, we need to add that to the album. I'm like, are you sure? He said, oh yeah, we need to add that. Then we started adding on. And that birthed the Mokobe album.
Wow.
So even when the album was out, a couple of friends of mine, we had to go raise funds for a mission organization in the US. So I pretty much launched it, left it, and left for the US to do the mission work, only to get calls that
everyone loved it.
It's everywhere.
Wow.
So I came back to Ghana, not too sure what my life will become. I just came back and people wanted me on their bills.
Yes.
But this funny twist, they said, oh, he was based in the US.
Because you were in the US when the song was released.
Yeah, exactly.
My goodness.
I came and my life had changed.
Wow.
Yes.
So was that bus ride, that sort of set everything off?
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing how the spirit works.
Yeah.
Now, you've been in the industry for quite as the gospel artist from 2003. It's been a while. You've seen the industry sort of evolve,
yeah,
and develop to the point where gospel artists have moved on from just being part of a genre to becoming the main thing.
That's it.
How would you, or what are some of your biggest observations over the last couple of years of the evolution?
You don't know how I feel to hear you say that. I must mention the late Danny Nete, because that for him, he saw it. He was, a Nedline hook and sinker. I was just toying around with it, but he saw it, and he and some of the people around that time plowed. So I came to join in, and I never thought... I knew it would happen, but it's so surreal for me that even at a point the artist of the year
became a gospel artist.
Because when I was serving with Danny, I had a team, he had a team. Joe Metal was serving with Danny. So Joe Metal was very much a part of what was happening, but he was serving with Danny. And so to see that in our lifetime, I wish Danny was there to see that day, Artist of the year and become mainstream, headline, main industry event. I'm like, wow, this amazing. So I've seen the change. When we came out, producers, distributors were very skeptical. Like, this is a little too Americanized, it won't sell,
wow.
We can't push it. Some can tell you right in the face.
Because at that point in time, gospel was a different kind of way. It was more spirit-filled, more churchy, and your style was sort of, I will assume at that point in time, was sort of like Americanized, or they would feel as if it was more inspired. Was there a particular reason why you chose that line?
We didn't choose the line. It's just what you were baptized with, if I'll use that term.
Yeah.
We grew up listening to the likes of Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, Ron Kenoly, Alvin Slaughter, later on Kirk Franklin and all that. So they had an influence on what we appreciated, what we wrote. And it's what you put in that comes out. So anytime I'm rearranging a song, I realize that these influences filter through, because we were not really out there to go for what is trending to become like the artist, the main artist. We were just
singing,
pouring our heart on tape.
Did you ever feel the need to be more commercial at that point? Because then the commercial hits were a different kind of way.
No, it was rather Mokobe that changed everything.
Okay.
Because, when I did the album, I was so sure the 10 praise songs will do the trick.
And Mokobe was everything that turned everything around.
That turned everything around.
Wow.
Because I knew that, the praise songs, it's a bit mainstream. But everybody I gave the CD to was like, it's that song. And it changed everything.
Wow. Now let's talk about your work in ministry, because you are actively a part of the ministry.
Yep.
How have you been able to combine your work as a gospel artist and also being a pastor, leading people, doing evangelism and everything else in between?
My whole life has been balancing act. I mean, right from school, at a point, even my parents were concerned that you are giving too much attention to this music.
Yeah.
And it was right in there. I couldn't suppress it, and everywhere I went, they even knew about Nii Okai before you got there. So they set you up. So from Infant Film School through KNUST, everywhere I went.
Before you get there, they'll be like, oh, yeah, you know what? Before you go, drop something.
That's it. And even when I got into the bank,
yeah,
I ended up raising a choir there.
No.
Yes. That's what happened to Nii Okai.
What?
Yeah.
So the music has always been
everywhere,
embedded in you. You can't run away from it.
That's it. So when I left, because I felt a strong call of God to just leave, not too sure of what the next step was going to be, I just started a day following the Lord a day at a time. So the first clear direction after leaving was to go do my master's in mission and theology, and that actually opened my mind to why God gave me the gift and blessed me with a song like Mokobe.
Wow.
Because, he decides to give you a name and an opportunity to show forth his praise. So now people are willing to listen to you, and when they are listening, you glorify him. So then I began to understand, okay, so that's why he gave me the song. It's not because I'm anything special, but I have a specialized assignment, and God has given me the key, the door opener, which is Mokobe and the other songs that he's dropped. And in my exercising of my gift, he gives me platforms, and I have to use the platforms to glorify him and to draw souls onto him.
Wow.
So now everything begins to weave together like a mesh. You begin to understand, okay, so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. So whatever assignment he gives me, I do it with the sense that it will all connect some way, somehow. So the next assignment I was given, when I thought I was saying thank you to God for 10 years of Mokobe, because I got reminded one fine morning, was to sponsor 10 heart surgeries.
I saw that, yes.
I mean, that was crazy.
Now, okay, so the idea has dropped into your spirit. You want to, but the funding, how did you go about raising enough funds for this?
It's a whole book. So we took that step of faith. The team, we said, look, let's put our resources together. Let's do one. And I went back to Stanchart, an institution I just left a couple of years ago. And I'm like, that this is what the Lord wants me to do. I used to be corporate affairs manager there. So my boss, I left, just linked me with the CEO. I went to sit in front of him. I said, look, this is what the Lord has laid on my heart. It's okay, we'll do one.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I went to the then, what do you call the bank again? First Capital Plus. Then they said, okay, they'll do one. And I was like, God, this is amazing. And then I had individuals who didn't want their names mentioned, supporting. So what I did was just organize the platforms, concerts. But tell you what, the concert themselves couldn't even pay for themselves to pay for a surgery.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. I mean, just to put a concert together.
So wait, you were organizing the concert, hoping to raise the money, and they couldn't even. What you generated couldn't even pay for the concert itself. Talk less the surgery.
But you see, just by coming on radio to say I'm doing a concert for this, then the Lord touches somebody from somewhere. So you can't, at the end of it all, say that it was your strategy, something you did, but God just touches the hearts of people, and they reach you backstage.
And say,
my greatest, sponsor for that project was a reverend minister who doesn't want his name mentioned.
Wow.
He attended one of the concerts, and when the one going to raise the funds thought he was going to start from, maybe anybody can give me 2,000 Ghana Citi or anything, he said he wants to give $12,000. Same expression. Same expression. And let me tell you how that came about. Now I can tell you.
Yes.
I went to Koforidua to do the fundraiser for Saving Hearts. I left very wounded. I mean, I took my big brother Joe Bicham there. The one supposed to come and do the fundraising didn't show up. Joe Bicham had to do the fundraising himself. I mean, it was just
a mess.
I'm telling you. And this is what the pastor told me. He just felt moved. He said, Nee, I don't have money. I wish I had. What I have is prayer. I'm going to tell you something. God is going to surprise you. And I left Koforidua with my team. Not too sure whether we're going to continue with these concerts to raise funds. And then at the end of the year, we felt that, no, we still have to thank God for what we've done over the year, though our bank account was in the red. And so that was that concert. This minister had just come to visit our host minister, the one who was hosting us in his church. And he said, oh, Nee is doing something in my church, so if you can come by. I said, okay, we'll see. He came by. And when we thought that, the few people have gathered, we'll be able to raise something at least to pad our account small for the next year. Then he just releases that. So now, anybody, I could just sense the pressure. Anybody who came upon invitation to give,
thinking to give
like
1,000, 2,000,
started doubling, because it was
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Then I realized that he's the author and finisher of our faith. When he sends you, he equips you. So then I realized that no, this whole thing is heading somewhere. And 2 years ago, the craziest of directions, he says, start the church.
Now, how? Okay, when it dawned in your spirit, or you had the epiphany that it's time for you to start Nii Okai Ministries. What was your first initial impression? Like, it's like, Lord, are you serious this time or what?
I had a meeting with the then leadership of Nii Okai Ministries, and one of them, very close to me, answered a question I asked. I used the same phrase that Jesus used, who do men say that I am? I asked them, so who do you think Nii Okai is? And she says, I think it's a man who loves the Lord and doesn't know where he's going. And just the same way Jesus said, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you. I just felt so strongly. The Holy Spirit had just, given a witness that he's a man on a mission. It's God who has the blueprint and he's just following.
Yeah.
So that's been my life. Those who follow me, they have a hard time because they're not too sure what next
is going to pop up.
But some way, somehow, when we believe and we stay faithful, everything begins to weave together. So, iChurch. I started the iChurch 2 years ago, and the name is actually International House of Virtue. But by the second week, the Lord had dropped this iChurch in my spirit. And I was telling the leadership, they took it as a, like a catchphrase, until COVID.
Then everything went online, and you were the iChurch. Oh my goodness.
Until COVID.
I just got chills.
I'm telling you. I started this year. I told my wife that, and my wife is a very lovely person to be with because, once you are able to get her to stand with you, you can face any opposition. Because, she's your full supporter, but she'll tell you in the face, what she thinks, So I said, I think this is a year we are going to be pruned by God.
Wow.
And we have to move into the morning service and do online. And she said, need even stop. We've labored for 2 years. What are you talking about? And I know better not to continue the discussion. Yeah. Until, the old man, our old man in this country just announced one Sunday evening
that everything locks down.
So we were never locked down.
Because you had already started putting in place the structures.
We were never locked down. We've been a Zoom church from the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of my friends look at the pictures and they are not too sure have you opened or no? I'm like, no, it's BAU. Because I may have to reveal this on there. Midweek after the first lockdown, I asked God that, look, you asked me to do this. Now, pastors are in despair and all that. So why? He said, teach my word. And I have a testimony. A week ago, no, 2 weeks ago, an old friend of mine, typed on Facebook that, I'm having a new kind of week, and typed one of my songs, the praise songs actually. And a friend of hers I haven't met said that, how come I'm the only one who has missed Nii Okai's ministry? I only got to hear of him during the pandemic. After how many years?
Wow.
So everything comes as a result of obedience. When we walk with the Lord in the light of his word, he shares glory away. Only if we will trust and obey. It's not like a ritual, there's a way it should go. It's just that he's not limited as a God, as our God. And so whatever he sets in motion, he's actually prepared, the roadmap. It's just that he won't reveal it to you. There's this hymn we love to sing, but most people don't understand how harsh it is. Captain of Israel's hosts and guide. Captain of Israel's hosts and guide. Everybody loves it. But the verse 2 says, by your unerring spirit led. Your spirit doesn't err. We shall not stray in the desert. But the third line is what I'm coming to. He said, we shall not need full direction, nor miss our providential way. Most of the times we freeze because we want to see the full picture before we obey.
Yes.
But this is a statement of faith that we shall not need full direction because we trust who is leading us. And so we follow him a step at a time. We walk in his footsteps, and we know that we will not miss our providential way.
Wow.
So in a nutshell, that's Nii Okai's life, really.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing what the Lord can do, so long as you just believe and do as he says.
Yeah.
And how things can all just work together for your good.
That's it.
Now, coming to the gospel music industry.
Let's talk.
Over the last couple of months or years, we've seen quite a bit of conversation coming in from the industry about some people who feel a certain way about other artists, people who feel that not everyone is black and white. Some people like to stray into other domains. One gospel artist went on record to say that she feels that there's juju in the gospel industry. Some people have come out to vocally bash others. Looking at that and being one of the, and can categorize you as one of the early pioneers of the industry as we know it, how do you feel when you hear other members of the gospel fraternity not really practicing what you would assume that they should be preaching?
Okay, so mixed feelings here. Mixed because it was meant to happen.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Anytime there is like a freeze where people are not in their usual rhythm, then there's time to talk.
Okay.
There's time to, consider other things. And there's time to also reveal certain thoughts that have been lingering for a while. But because of the busyness, they haven't really had time to address. So it was meant to happen. Number 2, the Bible already said that in the last days, and I believe we are in the last days, you see, the love of many will wax cold. So though it's an unfortunate scenario, it is something that is a characteristic feature of the last days. Not just for musicians, minstrels, pastors, leaders, so much is going on. People think that they are bashing the church, but they're rather losing their faith. You see, that's what's actually happening. Also, you find that God is also doing a threshing. It always takes time for a separation to take place. Jesus gave an apt story for this. He said a man went to plant, and then overnight the enemy came to plant weeds. In the morning, the servant saw that there were weeds around and said, look, should we pluck them out? He said, no, don't pluck them out. Let them all grow. When they grow, you'll be able to now decipher
which one is the weed.
Which one is a weed. or which one is there. Because other than that,
you end up plucking out the right one out.
Thank you.
Okay.
So many things have happened over the period. It was allowed. The Lord allowed it. But a COVIDic revival like this will start making things very clear for you to see, because by their fruit you shall know them. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So then it becomes very clear. Nobody has to label anybody or, by the very fruits, you will know the workings of the heart. So, like I said, it doesn't really surprise me. I rather have this mixed feeling because I realize that the work is enormous. We probably have to be evangelizing to ourselves first than even think about those we think are lost. And that's the sense. When I look at all that, I'm like, we have work to do. I happen to be part of the council of the Christian Music Association Ghana. And so we've heightened that awareness that, look, we have work to do. We're thinking that we were okay, we're going to rather win more, but it looks like we have to win our own back to the Lord so that we can continue with the work.
Interesting. Now, with the church in its entirety, over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of emphasis on the prosperity aspect of the church and miracles and, well, not beyond the miracles, more like the prophecies, which have now also started inciting fear into the hearts of many, because when you hear prophecy, you would assume that the Lord reveals to redeem, but a lot of these times, more like, yes, this is going to happen and there's nothing you can do to change it. As a minister or a man of God yourself, like, do you think, how do I put this? Is it acceptable for the way the church in its entirety, at least here in Ghana, is moving towards? I think even beyond Ghana, across the African continent and the world, really, the emphasis on certain things.
If you read the book of Jeremiah, you'd wonder if he actually wasn't prophesying about these days. Because Jeremiah was a young man, a very young man, not a bearded prophet, and the Lord gave him a word for all the major prophets, to tell them that they were prophesying lies. I mean, such a very serious thing to say. Today we read Jeremiah knowing that he was a man of God. I'm sure around that time he was public enemy number one.
I can imagine.
What I'm trying to say is that even before the advent of Jesus, the body or the kingdom of God has been plagued with a lot of issues. False prophets, people swaying from their mandate, people following after other gods, people, pluralism of, and God was always particular about that I don't share my glory with anybody. Don't go and mix things up. So what is happening is not new. Let me tell you what is new. The World Wide Web. Now, we have everything that happens being blown out there. Leak tapes, this, that, rants. And people have realized that they can even make money out of that.
Yes.
So people are focused on even doing that to earn. So that's actually what's happening. It's not like a new scenario in the church. The church is marching on. When Jesus made that prophetic statement that I'll build my church and the gates of hell shall not prevail, I've come in my short walk, I've come to realize that it is so true. And sometimes, like he did to Pharaoh, where he raised Moses right under his nose, right where you think there's turmoil, God has remnants. And he will raise remnants so that the church continues. You may soil your garment, but it has nothing on the work of the church. I mean, when I say the church, I mean the real church founded on Christ, not the brick and mortar or the denominationalization we've made it, but the real church who are the called out, the elect, people who have decided that they are sold out to the Lord and they are walking by faith and not by sight. And so there are so many things going on in the church, which is a blessing, but they don't get highlighted. Let me tell you something funny that happened during COVID. A friend of mine was like, he's not seeing what the church is doing. The church is not helping. And I asked him, But the church has been helping all this. Oh, no, he's not saying, he's rather saying secular organizations give and all that. Then the church went on a frolic, started donating left, right, center. Then the same people said, oh, you see, your right hand shouldn't see what your left hand is doing. Now what is happening to the church?
They're telling us too much.
Yes. And I'm like, you see, so you cannot please the people. You should look at pleasing God. That should be the focus. Because for the people, even Jesus himself, at the point, after he's done the miracle and 5,000 people were fed and they wanted to make him king, the next one, when he started teaching them the real truth that unless you eat my flesh, he hadn't revealed the Holy Communion then, but they were like, no, this saying is some way. So his mega church suddenly became, a classroom church. And he asked them that, will you also go like the rest have left? They said, no, we are not going because we are disciples. What I want to say is that there are disciples working and they may not have the time to broadcast what they do. In my former life, I was a PR guy. So I know how to get around a lot of PR, but they don't have the time for PR. Yeah. They are doing the work. And sometimes you never get to know until they are gone to glory and somebody comes to testify. There was a story of a missionary who felt he had failed. So packed his tools and left. Years after, the church in that village sent to him, when he was on his dying bed, that I'm one of the people you came to witness. I was a kid when you came. And he thought the church didn't work. But you see, it's not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit. Yours is to obey. Just do your bit. And God has a way of, you cannot defend God. God has a way of vindicating himself.
Charlie. No, in fact, I'm enjoying the conversation a little too much. So many messages are coming in. AJ, good afternoon. This man's story has really touched me. It has told me that we should never give up on God and he will lift us up. God bless all of you. From Andrew Afrafraha. So many messages on Facebook Live as well. I'll try and read a few. Pastor Nii, you blessed me so much this afternoon. Led by the Holy Spirit, you will indeed not miss your providential way. Thank you, AJ, for bringing Pastor Nii Okai to our homes this afternoon. He's brought some healthy dose of revival to me personally. God bless you, Atani. Yehovah, I think, bless you mightily. Some messages on Facebook. Then we'll take a listen to Yaba. And at Yaba, I'm trying to vocalize it. This one, so many messages. Stephen Blessing Arquez says, I was and I have always been blessed by his songs. Abigail and Carlos says, God bless you, Nii Okai. Bless you, sir, from Gideon Osabote. Elvine Mokobe was my song of all times. Cynthia A. Blavo says, sure, Pastor, Mokobe never dies. I really love the song. Good work for the repackaged version. Yes, everything comes as a result of obedience. From Patrick Masope. Age, I'm in the spirit now, from Jemima Say. David Bani, all power belongs to him. Dorinda Emisa, we shall not need full direction because we can trust God to lead us. Wow. PP Tamaklo Mokobe sounds new and refreshing every time you listen to it. That I can agree. Carla Ajiman Banaman says, when he sends you, he equips you. Charlie, that part there. Chills. So we're going to take a listen to the new one, Yaba. Pastor, it's on all streaming platforms, right?
Yeah.
So how can people be able to stream it and put money in the pockets?
So Yaba, just I've even hashtagged it. So Yaba on all over 40 digital platforms:
Okay.
Rhapsody, Deezer, Sony Music, iTunes, Amazon, name it.
Okay.
And then you can also stream it from my YouTube page, and even on Instagram, in IGTV.
Lovely. I love it. Okay, so let's take a listen to this. Then we'll come back, wrap up the conversation quickly, take a few more messages, and yeah.
Wave your hand. Yaba wasim dia na se enkwanya somje woha enkwanya somje woha we've come.
This is Brunch in the City, your smooth companion at work.
Of the cross,
there is life and peace.
in Him,
There is life and peace.
very simple song. You wanna join?
We've come
To be blessed,
to be blessed, standing at the foot
of the cross.
of the cross.
There is life and peace in Him. Hallelujah.
There is life and
Jesus, Yachiwuti, Sewobeyama, Shenda, Entinayaba, Woho, Entinayaba, Woho, Jesus, Yachiwuti,
you manifest your power
in Him. That's why
we are gathered
we gathered here. That's why.
we are gathered.
You wanna lift your voice and join us, say, Jesus, we believe.
Yeah, bad by Pastor Nii Okai, streaming on all platforms.
Wow.
So go out and stream this. If you're driving home from work today, go on iTunes and please stream this on all other streaming platforms. And
Yep.
please stream this. But your favorite buffet at Elisa Hotel is back. We know you miss your favorite Friday night barbecue with grills, shawarma, and other tasty cuisines, and your favorite Sunday brunch with your favorite local dishes. So guess what? We brought them back under improved health standards by popular request. Listen every Friday. Join us from 6:30 p.m. for our Friday barbecue buffet with live music at our serene poolside, and your family favorite Sunday brunch every Sunday from 11:30 a.m. with live music. All dining areas have upgraded health protocols that conform to international health standards to ensure your health and safety is assured. For reservations and inquiries, call 0501 631 296. Elisa Hotels, a mark of distinction. So, Pastor Nii is here in the studios. New song, Yaba. Why do I keep brothalizing this thing?
No, it sounds fancy.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But Pastor Nii, you are doing an amazing job, and you're also going to do you're going to be try and raise funds to do some more heart surgeries.
Yep,
Tell me about it, and how can people donate to a good cause?
Yes. There's a joke
Please.
that yes na when you na it's God's work.
Yeah.
You know that we are privileged to be stewards. You know, he's allowed us to be a part of it, and I realized that whilst I was in the bank, there was this Good Samaritan story playing out. You know the Good Samaritan story,
Yes.
where the Jew, Jesus was trying to tell the Jewish leaders and the Levites that the Samaritans are doing what they are supposed to be doing. So when I was in Stanchard, I realized that a lot of some of these social interventions are being done
By other people, yes.
who
And not necessarily in the church or anything of that sort.
Thank you. But Jesus didn't tell that story as a damning report. He told that story as a wake-up call.
To motivate you to do your own bit.
That's it. And so that is the kind of work he expects us to do. To be the ones to promote social justice, to be the ones to highlight where there's need. There's an interesting thing about this heart surgery. You know, what you contribute for a heart surgery can solve thousands of malaria issues. So a lot of people feel, you know, more.
Let me send it to a larger cause than to one particular
Thank you.
person.
But you don't know what that one child will amount to.
That's true.
That one child.
You could be saving the life of the person that will cure cancer.
That's it. You know, so it's an area that is too big. But I have this mantra that if it's not too big, if it's not big, then God is not in it. You understand? So some way, somehow, God wants you to know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So do it, and I'll be with you. I'll help you do it.
So when do we want to do the surgeries?
The surgeries are ongoing. So now we are at 14. We've done 14 successful surgeries.
Wow.
Yes, and it continues, you know. And so we had a discussion that with COVID and all that, I'm like, oh, we can even do much better now with the virtual concerts and all that. So let's still work on it. So come September, we are trusting God to, you know, put something together and raise funds towards World Heart Day. World Heart Day is normally the last Friday in September.
Okay.
So we really want to, you know, and we are trusting God that we'll have partners to bring in missionaries to do the surgeries.
So how much or how can we donate? Is there a platform that we can all be able to donate?
Yes, there is a platform.
Our widow's mite to mobile money number, bank account, maybe quickly.
Yes, there is a platform. I brought one out, but I realized that one was for a sister station. So. Yes. So whilst I figured that one out, you can go to www.neokai.com.
Okay.
And I'll also put a number out, 024 615 6915. 024 615 6915. Carla will be online to let you know what exactly you should do.
Okay.
Or you can just move to our bankers, GCB, and say you want to donate to the Nii Okai Saving Hearts Foundation.
Okay, so GCB, Nii Okai Saving Hearts Foundation.
And that will be done. Or just those of you online, just send me a backstage message, you know, in my inbox, and then we'll take it up from there.
So your social media handles, so that people can be able to send in all their fan mail, their interactions, everything else in between.
So that is Artiste Nii Okai on Twitter.
Okay, Artiste Nii Okai.
Yeah. And then we have Nii Okai, Nii_Okai on Instagram.
Okay.
And then Facebook, you know, if you see any Nii Okai, it should be me first.
But quickly, the number that people can be able to reach out to again.
024 615 6915.
Okay.
024 615 6915. And right now, Wave and other apps are able to come through our Momo line. So we'll just let you know how to do that, and we'll keep you updated. You see, my people are, they don't want me to miss this.
Yes.
So there's the Momo line itself, which is 0245
Okay.
884 231. 0245 884 231. And then we have for Airtel Tigo 0266 903 060. 0266 903 060.
And on that note, thank you so much, Pastor Nii Okai, for coming through. Time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
We're going to do
right?
this again. Definitely going to do this
We
again.
should.
So please watch out for that. Listen out for that conversation that will be done right here on Brunch in the City with Pastor Nii Okai very soon. Again, thank you so much for coming through, Pastor Nii Okai.
It's been a pleasure.
Now it's time for the news, and Wilma is